All right, guys, welcome back. Booze Come in Pairs. We're in person again. We're doing this again. But just good to be talking baseball. Just even from our initial conversation today, I think we have a lot to say. It's been a while since we've done a podcast. But thank everyone for listening, liking, subscribing. Just gonna, have a lot to say with especially the trade deadline happening. Um, lot. I thought this trade deadline there was a ton of action just in general beyond the big ticket items. We'll get to that in a second, but
hmm
I just thought it was cool to see how active teams were being at the trade deadline, how many pieces were moving.
hmm Not only um, pieces moving, but like teams like the Twins. That was kind of an interesting, like
Hmm.
seeing them go for some players, make some deals. There were some pieces and names I wasn't expecting to go as well.
Hmm.
Random, but like Foster Griffin, like having a really nice year for the Nationals. They weren't obviously not buying, they were more sellers, but they're still kind of in it, I guess. They're playing around 500 baseball, or at least they were, but traded him to the
Yeah.
Indians. The Indians have not been playing well since the deadline, but they went out and got a nice starting pitcher who made an all-star team. Yeah, definitely interesting to see the pieces move and kind of see where people went. It was fun to see.
I mean, everybody in the AL is still kind of in it,
hmm
but the NL, there are a couple defined teams. Like, yeah, the Nationals have, have an explosive offense,
Yeah.
but they're not going anywhere.
No.
You're buried by the Braves. Again, you could get a wild card spot, but for what? But like, I mean, the Pirates added.
Yeah.
Um, the White Sox were very active. They added a couple pieces, a catcher as well. Some teams like the Yankees were weirdly quiet. They needed a catcher,
Right.
and they didn't acquire one.
They did add
Um,
Luis Garcia though, which
mhm.
was nice. They got him from the Nationals, and he's having a incredible power surge year. He's always been a very
Yeah.
solid player. But the biggest thing, like for the Yankees, especially, like we were thinking, like catcher, second base, like that's kind of what they were looking for. There's rumors that they were looking at Ryan Jeffers, and they may
Mhm.
have been looking at Adley Rushman or any available catcher, and they really didn't add there. And then Luis Garcia plays more first base now, which they didn't
Yeah.
really need. They
Mhm.
did call up their one of their top prospects, George Lombard, who is already making a very big impact on the defensive side of the baseball. Anthony Volpe, see you later. You will not be playing short at all for the rest of the year. At least you shouldn't be.
He,
That kid's amazing.
yeah, Anthony Volpe is probably running out of options at this point, but this is the second time he's been optioned in AAA.
hmm
And he's a guy that was starting shortstop for a World Series team. But kind of a guy that were never very impressed with. But yeah, they're obviously moving on. Yeah, the Cubs were very active
Yeah.
at the deadline. They said they needed to go out and add, you know, three arms. Well, they added five, right? Like they added some bullpen pieces. They moved Moises Ballesteros. I mean, you add Clay Holmes and you add Kevin Gossman and the kid from Braxton Garrett.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So yeah, you add all these pieces, and it's been a while since Cub fans have probably been excited about the haul they've got at deadline, but they went out and got exactly what they said they needed,
hmm
even though it wasn't the top piece. They got a lot,
Right.
and so far so good on the returns for them. So.
Right. Right. The biggest question mark, and this has been a little bit criticized, is the Braxton Garrett move. Um, has really only had one healthy year as a pro, um, but is a power arm.
Mhm.
He was brought up from AAA. Hopefully, they can give him something. I think it was kind of a steep ad in a way. I'm not really sure what they were thinking. A lot of people thought they were going to be after Reed Detmers
Mhm.
with the Angels. Ended up getting Zephyrjan for Mo Baller, which I'm assuming that Mo Baller would have been involved in a trade for Reed as well. But yeah, I mean, I hopefully Braxton can get something done, and hopefully he's solid, and hopefully he
Yeah.
contributes. That's what they need.
So a couple years ago, that probably would have been their only move, and then we'd be sitting here scratching our heads, being like, "Oh, the only guy you got is this guy who's a fringe guy."
Yeah.
We mentioned, or you mentioned the name tonight, Jose Cuas, which who they acquired a couple of years ago is pitching again for the Royals. But that was a trade down. I remember like going in at a Monday softball game and like, oh, the Cubs added a pitcher from the Royals, and I was like, oh, Barlow, no, Jose Cuas, and that was it. That was the only guy they got all year. But like this is a different deadline where you're not relying on a fringe guy to really contribute.
Right.
They went out and got a lot of arms, so you can. Theo used to preach like the trade deadline is just another opportunity to get better. And I think they got better for this year, but also you added some guys that are a little bit of control.
Mhm.
I think Gossman's got 2 years left on his deal. You probably have a little bit of stock in Clay Holmes. I know Peterson's a free agent at the end of the year, but you have options on these guys. So you could potentially next year roll into the rotation with a healthy Steele, with hopefully some better fortune on that end and really have a solid rotation, which they didn't have coming in this year. So you can get rid of again, sorry, Jameson Tyone, you had to go. But like their rotation compared to pre-trade deadline is much better. Much more fun to watch. They also added Tyrone Taylor, which as a Brewer, I kind of always disliked him. But he kind of gives you an opportunity to get Ian Happ out of the lineup, which I am always a fan of. So and he's been really good against left-handed hitters, and Ian Happ's struggled this year, even though he's a switch hitter. So you should be good against both, right? Or stop being a switch hitter.
Right.
Ian Happ's horrible against left-handed pitchers this year. He's hit like 218.
Right.
Again, he's hitting 210 overall, so he's actually hitting better against lefties. But yeah, you need some pressure there. But also he's a glove first guy, so if he's in the lineup, you're not taking away, a Gold Glove caliber player. You're just replacing with another one, maybe a little more pop. So I like all the moves they made.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, sad to see a promising prospect like Jefferson Rojas go, but Clay Holmes was definitely needed. There was a rumor that he was going to get moved. He was a desirable move as well. He's been high leverage as a starter and as a reliever. Cubs will use him as a starter, which is kind of what he's been built for the last couple years. With him and Kevin Gausman, I think you have those are two horses.
Yeah.
Not only for this year, but hopefully moving forward as well. Yeah, if they have those two have a healthy Steele next year, Edward Cabrera hopefully healthy, like need him, gave up a lot for him. But yeah, it's cool, and it's just good to see that they addressed what they needed. There's not really anything they needed to add to the offense. The offense just needed to really just rise to the occasion and do better. And now a lot of the guys are starting to heat up. Nico Horner his average has risen mightily. He's closing in on 260, which he had a hot start to the year, got down to like 230. A lot of people are saying him getting hit in the head. Things have changed since then, but he's kind of coming back. Alex Bregman has had a heck of a time after the trade deadline, really coming into his own. Had a signature game the other night with a big 2-run homer to tie the game in the ninth the other night. So just good to see the guys coming back, and then PCA just playing at an MVP level, doing things that doing things that haven't really been seen before on the offensive and defensive side of the baseball. Really inserting himself in that MVP conversation too, which is fun.
Yeah, best offense in baseball probably the last month. They're scoring a lot of runs. And yeah, sometimes they get shut out, but they play some really good pitchers. And I thought yesterday's game versus Toronto was a great example because Dylan Cease was dealing. He's probably going to win the AL Cy Young.
Yeah.
But you kind of wait him out. You get him out of the game. You get in the ninth for a really good closer, and you squeak out a win. And that's just what good teams do. And the Cubs have been a good team lately. Very streaky this year, but good team right now. Another big move, which we'll see. You're kind of like, like maybe they gave up too much, but Adley Rutschman moving to the Red Sox, which again, for the Red Sox, they need that, right? This is a shot in the arm. Hopefully, the Red Sox playing phenomenal baseball, but there was a lot of pieces involved in the Adley Rutschman deal. And I mean, candidly, the Orioles haven't been playing well as a team, and Adley Rutschman's a part of that, of kind of the failure. So maybe the motivation of going to the Red Sox, again, interdivision trade, kind of weird, but the Red Sox gave up a lot, and we're going to see over the next probably year and a half or so how that pans out. But big move, something they needed. They got zero production out of their catchers so far this year, so definitely a big move.
Yeah, which was about the opposite of what happened last year. Carlos Narvaez and Connor Wong were both excellent. But yeah, Adley Rutschman obviously was a very, very highly rated prospect in his draft class, was I think he was a Golden Spikes finalist at Oregon State, very high, like top 5 pick. Had a good couple beginning years, and then really has not been the guy who we thought he was going to be, which is kind of a I mean, I feel like it's sort of been like a standard thing with some of these guys that Baltimore's had, because like Matt
Yeah.
Wieters was another one, just super prospect, had a really nice first couple years and then fell off. Hitting well and also catching are very, very hard things to do. I don't know if some of that's kind of taking a toll on him, but obviously always a very exciting player. Hard to part with a guy like that, but when you have a guy like Samuel Basallo kind of waiting in the wings, doing well himself at the big league level, parting with Adley is a little bit easier to do when you have that guy who's a solid backstop and a solid hitter
Yeah.
behind. And then just getting an absolute haul in prospects from the Red Sox,
Yeah.
headlined by Anthony Ianson, power lefty pitcher out of LSU. I got to see him pitch in the College World Series a couple years ago. The guy has got electric stuff, great secondary stuff as well. And then they got the kid Kyson Witherspoon, who was another first round pick from the Sooners, and then a couple more players. So you have guys who are knocking on the door. They're going to be pitching in the division in the next couple years, I think. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, to me, this is like a win now Red Sox move, and I think if they had not battled this last stretch,
Yeah.
I don't think they would have made a move like that. But I think they smell they see the blood in the water and they're attacking and they think they can beat anybody right now.
Yeah.
And
Well, they can.
they've shown that they can with whoever's in the lineup. They have great starting pitching, an absolute buzzsaw of a bullpen. The Red Sox are a fun team to watch, and
Yeah.
I'm excited for Adley to come back so
Yeah.
he can be part of the offense.
And we'll get into them in a little bit here, but it's kind of a weird situation because clearly with their offseason moves, they didn't expect to be in this position. The guys they added, again, we've talked ad nauseum. It doesn't really make sense because they weren't all in April,
Right.
but they're all in now,
Right.
and are they giving up too much for maybe a team that's not contending? But the AL is wide open, so why do you not? How can you not take your chance? So they're kind of doing a little bit of both. They're buying now and hopefully getting rid of the right things. And we'll see if Adley Rutschman can figure out. I think Fenway is a great place for him to hit. I'd have to look at the numbers, because he's obviously with the Orioles played a ton at Fenway Park. But that just seems like for a guy like his skill set, that ballpark would just play phenomenal for him because you just bang it off the green monster, hook it around the pole. Should play to his strengths. And then again, the Red Sox need a catcher, so that just played all of it.
Yeah.
We've gotten this far into trade deadline deals, and we haven't talked about the hottest button issue. But we knew, probably because we knew it was coming, right?
Right.
Tarik Skubal to the Dodgers. There seemed to be, again, we're all shocked, we're all surprised, but there seemed to be better offers on the table, right? Or there seemed to be, at least from our point of view, teams that could have offered the Tigers more prospects, better arms. But apparently, the thing that did it was the combination of pitchers and position players that the Dodgers offered. That's what the Tigers wanted. And the Brewers weren't willing to give up arms. And apparently neither were the Rays. So here we go. The Dodgers, again, winners at another position. And adding Tarik Skubal as a depth piece, as weird as that sounds, everyone else he'd be an ace for. Is that, again, are they ruining baseball? Are they just willing to do it? I mean, you can still beat them. The Cubs just showed over this week. You can still beat them.
Yeah.
But it's really hard.
Yeah. I've heard a million different stories about the offers and were there really better offers on the table? Were there not? There are rumors starting to surface that the Brewers did offer a very nice package, which included Luis Pena, who's their number 2 prospect and who's a top 25 prospect in baseball. The Dodgers, I did hear that in that trade, the Tigers had asked for Emmett Sheehan, and they had said no on that one because they wanted some big league ready stuff. But it's like, there's not a guy that the Dodgers offered who's big league ready. Like, one of the guys they offered is a 28-year-old AA guy. Like, I think River Ryan. Like, the piece the piece that makes that trade for me is Zaire Hope. And I've seen him play since he was, I mean, still very young, but I saw him in single A, and I could see back then what a special player he is. I thought that they would at least have to give up Zaire Hope or Josh DePaula. DePaula is an untouchable for them. He'll probably be up with this aging Dodgers team. I would say in the next couple of years, very special prospect. But Zaire Hope, that's the big piece for the Tigers. I think he'll be with the team, and I would say within the next year and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just again, I think the Dodgers took on some of the salary too. I'm pretty sure. So it's a combination of all the things, and again, they're just playing the game the way the rules allow them to now.
Yeah.
And we'll see kind of what happens in the future. But I don't know. It sucks, but if a team really wanted Tarik Skubal and they really wanted to go all in, I'm sure they would have done what the Tigers had asked, and obviously they didn't. So
and here's probably the hard part for a team like the Brewers to give up even more. And again, I think they wanted some arms, and they said no arms. Skubal is a rental, right? He's going to be a free agent. Now, will the Dodgers offer? Will they be able to? We don't know. We don't know what the 2027 CBA is going to look like and how they're going to be able to do free agency. Skubal seems kind of intent on signing back with the Tigers. But you never know. Once you leave the building, it's hard to get him back, regardless of his intentions and what he wants to do. But he is a rental, and he is a high price rental at that. And he's coming off an injury. So maybe for some teams that was too big of a concern. The Dodgers don't have to worry about it. That's the thing. They have 4 other Cy Young Award winners that they can plop in there. Tyler Glasnow is coming back. Shohei Ohtani may not even pitch the rest of the year, and they're okay with that. He may be a bullpen piece. You have Roki Sasaki, who's throwing 100 miles an hour again. So, like, they're good. They can take this gamble. If the Brewers or the Rays push their chips in on this guy, he's got to be their ace, and he's got to be good. And you don't know. I mean, it's just he's 2-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner, but you don't know what he's going to be. And for the Tigers, it just makes so much sense to move him because you need to get something back. This is kind of a lost season at this point. I know the division's wide open,
and they're winning.
They're winning, but also bring up the kids. Bring up Max Clark. Play him. And he's been phenomenal. But now is the time to let those chips kind of fall into place. They also traded Casey Mize. They're moving their movable pieces. And again, if they can get some soon to be ready MLB arms, that's the whole goal.
Right.
But yeah, the Tigers achieved probably what they wanted out of it. Skubal is going to get a shot at the World Series, and we'll see where that goes. But you did mention too, the aging Dodgers. I don't want to cap them because they could just spend more money, but you owe over $1 billion in salary after 2043. They have limitless money, but they are aging as well. Freddie Freeman's 37. Mookie Betts has been aging poorly. Ohtani's getting older, and he is not staying healthy on both ends of the ball. So eventually he's going to start to get older. Tasker Hernandez is getting so their roster is old. Will Smith can't stay healthy.
Kyle Tucker sucks.
He doesn't even like baseball. So this window for the Dodgers for this version, I would say, is maybe 2 or 3 more years. But they might actually need to start using some of those prospects because who knows what their financial situation is going to look like, and who knows what the spending landscape is going to look like if they're going to let them keep going over the luxury tax. Well, again, we'll see. But a lot of interesting conversations around the Dodgers. And they're actually on a little bit of a losing streak. So nice to see for them it's not working out. But I don't think they care. It's not October yet. They'll figure it out. Another big conversation that's been kind of swirling around because Pete's been out of this world. Who should the NL MVP be, right? And is there a road for PCA to take that over? My eyes say absolutely. I know we've been hearing quite a bit of no, it's still Ohtani's award to win. He doesn't have to pitch another inning. I don't think so. I think if he doesn't get on the mound again and Pete continues to excel, he's gotten so much better. Plate discipline, so much better. I don't see why not. I don't see why it couldn't be Pete. He is the best defender on the planet right now. Should be the Platinum Glove award winner. Ohtani just hits. And if Ohtani's numbers match PCA's, my edge goes there, and that's not just a bias. That's not just the jersey I'm wearing.
Right. And the biggest thing, and I saw, and what, rewind a little bit. Um, you get an award for being the best pitcher in baseball. It's called the Cy Young. Your pitching should, unless you are, because there are pitchers who've won the MVP before. Justin Verlander was the last one to do it with utter dominance. Like, and I'm not saying it is very difficult to do both, and to do both at a world class level. That's very special. But to me, like, defense is also special. Defense can save a pitcher, and you're getting 14 starts of Ohtani. That replaces all of PCA's defense. If they have the same numbers offensively or very similar, I don't even see how. I think the road is wide open for him. And what's funny, and I really like Shohei Ohtani as a player, I do not like how all the experts glaze him all the time, and it's he can do no wrong. Stats are good stats until they don't fall in his favor. Like, WAR has been the thing that people have pounded and pounded and pounded the last several years since it really became a category and quantifiable. But now all of a sudden WAR doesn't matter because Otani doesn't have the WAR category. So I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit sick and tired. I'm not even being a homer here for PCA, but it's like I'm just tired of like discounting an elite quality like defensive prowess. I'm tired of it. Like, it's never not been a positive thing until now. Like, now it's like oh well, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
If Shohei was the best pitcher in baseball right now, and he had the offensive numbers he has, there's no question.
Right.
He may not even qualify for the Cy Young.
No.
With 14 starts.
14 starts and 95 innings.
95 innings?
Or 82 innings? I think it's 82 innings. Yeah.
Not enough. And he's been dominant in terms of not allowing runs, but he's pitching like 3, 4, 5, 6 innings. Like, he's not going deep into games.
No.
So the value isn't there. And his offensive numbers this year compared to his MVP seasons the last couple of years, which is MVP seasons, 54 homers, 55 homers. He had the 56 stolen bases. That's undeniable.
Right.
He has been very pedestrian this year. 26 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and I think it's like 60 or 70 RBIs. So, like, his numbers are down. And it's because he's pitching.
Right.
And he's hurt. He's hurt a little bit. He's not living up to his standard of MVP. This is what he needs to be an MVP. He's not doing that. So if you're not doing both, I don't see how you can't include Pete's glove. And he's got better offensive numbers. So,
right.
yeah, I agree.
His F4 is better. His overall WAR, like, I think he's at a 7 already. If he continues to trend like this, he'll probably end up close to that 9 number, which is an elite MVP type season. Like, Mike Trout's winning the MVP with an 8-7 WAR. Like, there's just no way. If Pete finishes strong with the improved plate discipline, got 2 more walks tonight. I think he's got 62 overall. If he gets, he's a couple homer, I think 3 or 4 homers away from 30. It'll be a second straight 30-30 season. If he can get to like around that 80 walk mark, finish with an OPS that's like high 8s, low 9s. I think he's about 940 right now. Like, he'll score 100 runs. Like, he's doing everything he needs to do. And then the other piece is if the Cubs make the playoffs, like, that's another big thing too. I just don't see how you could leave him off the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
I think too, it's like we're 50 games out. So there's 50 games to accumulate the numbers and be even more special. And it's all speculative. It just depends on what direction it goes. But that's a good amount of baseball left to really define who's going to overtake who. But yeah, if the WAR differential is even that large, like, you can't deny it.
No.
They've set the standard for what it looks like and what, the numbers mean and how you navigate it. And if Ohtani doesn't pitch another inning this year, I don't think you can credit that too much. And it's they're probably saying again, they don't care about his MVPs. They want him for October. So, Pete could definitely overtake him in that standpoint. Personally, and this isn't any other reason. I'm okay with Pete getting slated because I think that's just extra motivation. The kind of hitter he's going to be next year if we play baseball. if he gets snubbed on the MVP would be incredible. I like if he's just made this much turnaround. Again, we remember last year when he's struggling in, July, August, September because he can't lay off certain pitches. He's not doing that anymore.
Right.
He's having very competitive at bats, and early in the year it was kind of affecting his production, but now he's really starting to click. And we're seeing something special. And he brings everything, and even if he brings nothing at the plate, he still has an A++ glove, and
Yeah.
I can't deny that. So that'll be validated when he wins the platinum glove. We should lock that up. If anyone else gets it this year,
Right. It's
I
an
don't want
absolute joke.
I don't want to see Fernando Tatis even on the
No,
list.
shouldn't be. Shouldn't
But
be.
he could be. Let's stay on the Cubs. They have the Red Sox next. Let's stay on the Cubs. They've been on a really good run. They just swept the Dodgers at home, which was great. They beat Tarik Skubal
Yeah.
in his first start with them, which is great. Javier Assad outdueled them. What's up? But this is also the best defense in baseball. I think you see it with guys like Clay Holmes when they come over and they're talking about it. David Peterson's he's had one clunker, but then he's really been pitching into the defense. I think
KG's a sinker ball guy.
And that's kind of what I was thinking from the beginning of the year. It's like, you have this really good defense. Why don't we have a bunch of like Shota's throwing, home run balls, Tyone's throwing home run balls. It's like, get that ball on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
play into that defense. And I think we're finally doing that. But outfield, infield, Seiya's gotten better.
Seiya's been great.
You're not hiding in right field anymore, but around the entire horn, Gold Glovers all around. We'll see if Michael Busch gets the nod, but very impressed with their bats lately. Just playing like a complete team, way less streaky. Even their losses don't feel as bad, but again, the arms they added they feel like a complete team to me right now.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And yeah, obviously they got the pedigree all around on every side of the ball, guys with a ton of pop, but defense is the big thing. And I mean, you have three Gold Glovers in the infield, three guys who've actually won it. Michael Busch plays a Gold Glove type defense. Seiya has been playing phenomenal. Pete's phenomenal. Ian Happ's been really good in the field. Behind the plate, Carson Kelly really taking advantage of that ABS strike zone.
Yeah.
Knows the zone better than anybody. I think he's got the highest percentage of calls reversed.
Yes.
On I think both sides of when he's hitting and behind the plate, but just a phenomenal catcher.
So not only behind the plate, but yeah, the other night you sent me the video. My father-in-law was also at the game that happened at, but how he got it was bases loaded, ABS strike 3, nope, ball 4, stadium erupts, working to the max ABS strike zone. But yeah, Carson Kelly's been phenomenal.
He's been great. He's been great. He's doing really well, and yeah, hopefully the problem is the Brewers just can't seem to lose.
No.
I think it's really just at this point, just keep winning games. Don't try to chase the Brewers. Just play your game, get to the playoffs, and let's rock.
Yeah, you have 6 games left against the Brewers, but I agree. You know what? You're a perennial playoff team, hopefully. If you make them again this year, then you had 2 years in a row. Keep getting bites at the apples. You can't worry about the Brewers. And it's not like a defeatist attitude. It's not, oh, they're just so much better. It really doesn't matter. And like, get to October, be the better team. That's all that matters. If you have to play a wild card series, oh well.
Play it.
You can win it. You showed it last year. You have a good team. I would take them right now versus anybody. Obviously, they just beat the Dodgers, and you feel that way. And let's hope it continues in October. Hope they have good health. Get some pitchers back even more so. But yeah, I like where they stand. I like the bullpen. I think another hot take. I think Caleb Thielbar is probably another bad outing away from being
DFA'd.
the next DFA candidate.
Has to be.
But the thing is, you have better options, and I think April, May, June, you didn't have better options, and Webb's been phenomenal in the closer role.
Rollison.
You're getting plenty of back. Rollison's got good stuff. Yeah, it's just guys are emerging, just like they did last year, just like Brad Keller, just like Drew Pomeranz, who also boomeranged and didn't have the magic in this year. But like that's just what happens. We talked about this since we started this podcast. Is just the volatility of bullpens, and here we are now where you feel good about what they have. They had to move some prospects to get it, but it looks good, and I feel like they're taking a shot this year.
Yeah.
Even though again Dodgers are adding, the Brewers are tough, you have a chance to do something special.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just got to keep playing their game.
Hmm. But yeah, don't look up too much. Just focus on your game and what you're doing. And you have 6 against the Brewers left. Theoretically, you could do it on your own. You don't need anybody's help. Other team, again, this is a fun episode for us because the two teams that are hot are the Cubs and then also the Red Sox. Red Sox have been doing things that haven't happened in Red Sox. I think in Red Sox history, they haven't won 15 games in a row. So I think they tied the franchise record for wins in a row. And there's like something with the amount of wins in like the month of July. They like they're doing things that they haven't done in Red Sox history, which I would not have had on my bingo card based on how they started the season and the pieces that are doing it. Um, but the Boston Brewers, I'll say, are coming through. I don't believe in them yet. Do we believe in them? Are they contenders?
Yeah,
Are we gonna convince ourselves?
I like the grind. They've come from a good organization, and yeah, I mean, the trio we're talking about, Sigler and Monasterio and Durbin, all just grinding, playing really well. And honestly, like, I kind of had a different view of the Red Sox coming in, and I was a bit surprised at the early struggles. Like, I was, if we roll back the clock a little bit, I was pretty optimistic about who they were and what they could accomplish if they stayed healthy. They were a playoff team last year, played really well together, signed some pitching. They had probably, I think I was pretty confident that they had like 6 to 8 pitchers who would be really, really good. And I was pretty optimistic about the addition of Wilson Contreras. So, like, what they're doing now is not surprising me as much as it is Brandon, probably. But yeah, I mean, I guess just getting it from some unlikely people, like again, the Boston Brewers. Those 3 Brewers, former Brewers, are really playing well, and the pitching has been unbelievable. And you're getting it from the young guys, you're getting it from the veterans. Sonny Gray, I think, is 14-2, All-Star snub, pitching great, leading the club, like yapping up a storm, which is great. You're having an awesome year from Ranger Suarez. The bullpen has been absolutely lights out, and then you trade Marcelo Meyer, who was a former top prospect of yours, and get Eric Miller, who has been nasty for San Francisco and is just continuing the trend in Beantown, just with a triple-digit fastball and all this highest, I think, swing and miss rate from any reliever in the game. Just doing great stuff, winning in all sorts of ways. Ceddanne Rafaela is having a phenomenal year as well, both sides of the ball. Big comeback win last night. Just kind of things they're doing. 13 inning back and forth battle with the White Sox. Just a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
All the pieces coming back too. Like Tanner Houck is a couple weeks out. Garrett Crochet, who we weren't sure if he was going to pitch at all for the rest of the year, throwing from 60 feet. Roman Anthony's finally hitting, which is great. Maybe you'll get him back soon. Trevor Story's running. They're going to get a lot of pieces back. Mead is also on his way back from that fractured hand that he suffered first game as a member of the team. So yeah, very excited for what they're doing, and also all the pieces coming back to bolster this roster.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny the success. I still don't know if I believe in them. However, the AL is wide open. So you're in the dance now. You're firmly a wild card team. Obviously they added. They believe what they have going on is real. They swept the White Sox twice. 6 again. Do I believe in the White Sox? No.
Swept the Dodgers.
So yeah, they are beating
everybody,
the best teams right now. So you can't say they can't do it. And again, the AL is wide open. The Rays aren't in like, I mean, they added Freddie Peralta and he let up 7 runs in his first game. Why didn't he do that in Milwaukee? Why did he have to wait until this year? We have been waiting for him to implode for like 3 years. And why couldn't the Brewers have added him back and then have him like what you know? Just
he wouldn't. He wouldn't have. Imploded.
He wouldn't have. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's a lament. But yeah, the Red Sox, I'm still struggling. I still think my off-season criticism of the way they constructed this roster was correct. The way they started April, May, June was accurate. However, it's undeniable that they are clicking as a team. Will it lead to postseason success? I don't know. But the fact you're moving on from guys like Conley Early and Marcelo Meyer makes me think that the front office believes that this is a team that can win, because you're moving pieces that you once thought were a part of your future. I think their pitching is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think Jake Bennett, Conley Early, or not Conley, Peyton
Peyton
Tolley,
Tolley.
even Conley Early was pitching well.
Yeah.
Like these young guys that they've scouted and drafted have been pitching well. Could you imagine if they kept Kyle Harrison? Like, oh my gosh! Right. But then you don't have the other pieces. But like, I think they're spot on with pitching. They've been struggling lately with their on-field prospects.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if Roman Anthony is good yet. He looks good. He's young. He's been out for so long. It's tough to know. And he played well in the World Baseball Classic, but clearly they were done with Marcelo Meyer because they, again, moved on so quickly. He probably didn't even have 100 MLB games played. So you kind of question their rhythm here,
Yeah.
but it's, again, you're a playoff team right now.
Yeah.
Season, I say you look better than the Yankees, because I don't know if Aaron Judge is coming back.
No.
So I would put them up against anybody in the AL right now. But the season doesn't end today, so hopefully they can push that through to September and October and get somewhere. Any other Red Sox thoughts? Maybe Wilson Contreras is right? Maybe he's the clubhouse leader.
He's a gamer. He's a gamer, and we know he wants to win.
Yeah.
He has never been another way. He's not satisfied with losing. He got a taste of being on a winner with a very, very talented team.
Yep.
Possibly the most talented roster ever assembled, I would say, for a single year.
Yeah.
That 2016 Cubs team. So he got that taste of winning early.
He was the third catcher on that team.
He was the third catcher on that team. So yeah, that guy wants to win. He's a gamer. Good on him for calling people out, because you know what?
Yeah.
The Red Sox were putting their eggs in the young kid basket, and those kids were goofing off. They were goofing off, and sometimes you need a reality check if you're not working. Like, and your team sucks, and you're not working, and you're just living it up. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of what was going on, but like if he saw something he didn't like, he was gonna speak up because he wants to win. It's not Boston doesn't tolerate losers well in any sport in that town. Nope. So I think he's ideal for this team. I think he loves playing in front of these fans and seeing. I mean, we see Wrigley packed. Fenway is the same way. I've been there when it's packed. Yeah. It's a more fun place to be. They're the best fans in the world when they're playing well, or some of the best fans in the world when they're playing well. So this has got to be energizing for him. He hasn't played in a meaningful baseball game in some time, and he wants to drink up every little drop of this.
Yep. Yeah. And he's really only known good baseball environments. Go from Chicago to St. Louis to now Boston, but yeah, the years in St. Louis were a little dry, and they're kind of falling back still. So, last topic for the night. Again, little kind of heading this direction. Jeff Passan's been very vocal about what he thinks about the possibility of baseball in 2027. He's made multiple comments. And it's tough because we're making, teams are making decisions. We're not making any decisions. Teams are making decisions for, this year, but also next year. But it comes out, is there going to be baseball next year? Are we going to see it? And if Jeff Passan asked point blank, is there going to be a lockout? And his answer was, yeah, of course there's going to be a lockout. And it's like, huh? Well, we're going to get locked out the day the season ends. Do you feel like, just based on everything you've seen and heard, do you think, we've kind of covered this a couple of times, do you think they're going to miss significant time in 2027?
I don't think so. I don't, because it's just, you don't want to stall baseball out when the popularity has been rapidly increasing. We've been very, very big proponents of all the rule changes and the way the game has sped up, and I feel like everything that they've decided to do as a group, and I would say it being approved by Manfred has been great. I mean, he's definitely leaving a good legacy as commissioner, and I just think there being no baseball is not good for anybody. It's not good
No.
for the players. It's not good for the owners. Like, why are we trying to prove a point to each other? Like, we need to do whatever we can to grow the sport, to keep the sport moving, keep the momentum moving. They need to find a way to meet in the middle. And I think it's going to be the owners giving in a little bit more than the players, obviously.
Mm.
But there definitely needs to be some changes. I am not for like the hard salary cap, but it's like, why are we the only sport, Major League Baseball? Why are we the only sport that doesn't have a hard cap? Why is that the case? Every other team has to like every other sport, they need to Frankenstein their roster, make things fit. We've experienced it as Blackhawk fans, not
Yeah.
being able to go for the best players at the deadline because
Yeah.
all of our money's tied up in some aging players. And
Yeah.
it's like you got to make some decisions. NBA, you see vets getting released and signing for the league minimum to play on a better team for
Yeah.
getting a chance to win. I'd like to see that maybe. I don't know.
So someone brought that point up to me with basketball, and I don't know how the basketball cap works, but they have the super max, right? And every team can offer a super max, and it varies based on the payroll, but it's like a swinging cap, right? So to speak. You need something for competitive balance. And I'm not trying to restrict how much players make. And if the Mets want to give Juan Soto $700 million, you can do that. If the Dodgers want to give Ohtani $700 million, you can do that. I think you need to do something about deferred money, because it makes no sense to get Shohei Ohtani on the cheap for $2 million a year. That shouldn't happen. Make teams hurt if they want to pay out this contract. Yeah, don't defer it, but some sort of competitive balance where teams have to make decisions. And you can't just keep everybody. And you can't just keep everybody at a low number. Like, you need to keep them at, hey, yeah, who did the Blackhawks lose? They lost Andrew Ladd, and they lost, they had to make all these decisions because you just couldn't, like, people want to get paid. Okay, well, if you want to get paid, this team's got room for you.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to limit what anyone's making, but you need to limit the talent acquisition. You need to limit the opportunity for, like, the Dodgers just to get every single player. And the only limit for the Dodgers right now is you only have 9 guys on the field.
Right.
That's what's limiting them.
Right.
But the pitching, that's how they're accumulating all of it. So I think that is the biggest issue, more so than the money being spent, is the opportunity for these teams to acquire these players. And again, it should be at the same price, but, like, I feel like they don't even consider it because I can just go to LA and make the most money possible. So yeah, there may not be a situation where we get an actual salary cap, but there's got to be restrictions more so than just pay more in luxury tax. That doesn't do it. That doesn't deter anybody from actually spending money except the Cubs.
Right.
But I think they may not miss significant time, but I think we push back maybe the start of the season a little bit, because I agree, baseball is in such a good position. They can't afford to lose an entire season.
No.
You can't afford to miss 100 games or whatever it's going to be. Like, they need to get something done. They need to figure it out. Is there an option to sign, like, a 1-year extension and talk about it again? Like, I don't know what the solution is, but at a certain point, I think maybe in February or March, they're gonna have to get something done, at least to band-aid it. I said you have a interim players union rep, so maybe he's not gonna do the long deal, but at least get something done. Doesn't need to be a 10-15 year deal, but, like, get something in place with some parameters so we can reassess as we move forward. But there's got to be some competitive balance, because you're right, baseball is the one sport that has, like, zero competitive balance. Just like, hey, you want it, go get it.
Right. Spend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Defer it.
Yeah. But I love listening to Jeff Passan. I think he's so candid. He's funny about it. He's talking about the Dodgers assembling the Avengers. I saw that comment from him. But he's just a really good voice for baseball. So anytime I have a chance to listen to him, he's just very candid, very raw about it, and gives his honest opinion. So I'll continue to look to him more so than other baseball media.
Yeah. More Jeff Passan, less John Heyman.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Don't need to hear him talk anymore.
Yeah. I can agree to that. But well, again, good to talk baseball. We had a lot to say tonight, so sorry, but not sorry. But yeah, just looking forward to this stretch run here. Like I said, I think this is the most upbeat I've been recently because all of our teams are playing well,
Right.
and they're in it, and it's fun and it's competitive. And I think that's also again to Manfred's credit is you keep more. I thought for a long time baseball had one of the stingiest postseasons. Now it's a little almost too inclusive, but this trade deadline was so fun.
Yeah.
Every team was kind of trying to add something, and I feel like almost every major piece went. So it's a fun time for baseball. The game is better. The ABS strike zone's amazing. You have a bunch of umpires getting bought out. I don't know if we talked about that, but
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, the list of umpires getting bought out.
We did. I think we talked about that the last episode. It's been a few weeks. It's been a busy summer.
Yeah.
We'll try not to go 4 weeks between episodes again. But yeah, it's been great to have time to like accumulate some thoughts and get a little bit more in. I mean, sometimes you want to like stay up. It would have been nice to do like a trade deadline episode, but just didn't stars didn't really align. But glad we got to talk, and yeah, just keep watching and doing all that stuff. Trying to get if you like baseball, if you have friends, family who like baseball, share it. We're still at that 38 mark. Not like it matters. We're just glad that people watch in general. I mean, not that was ever the goal, but it's just cool. Like even if you get like 30 views, like that's 30 more than 0. So yeah, just and yeah, we got to get some guests on soon too.
Yeah, it's been a while since
Trying our best. It's easier to do in the off season. We got some people that we know who are in the game in various ways that we like to talk to. But yeah, I mean, even just another fan of a team, like would love to have people on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what again our podcast is all about. It's just talking baseball with people we like and people with different opinions, especially. So just trying to grow our game in our bubbles. And that's what we do here. So until next time, Blues come in pairs. Take it easy.
Peace.